Hey, Facebook. It's Melody Reynolds. Woo! Lighting is crazy today. I'm going to be talking today. It's my 13th anniversary on Friday the 13th. So, I'm going to talk to you about 13 things I've learned about marriage in 13 years. Because this isn't going to be a bad luck day. I don't believe in that. This is going to be a good luck day because I'm not superstitious. And I'm very blessed today to be celebrating my anniversary. So we're going to talk about some pretty real stuff. I'm not going to give you fluffy stuff with marriage. I'm going to give you some very real things that I pray will, if you're struggling in your marriage or you're trying to find your way to having a good marriage. I've done it the wrong way once, and I'm doing it the right way now. So I've learned a lot in my journey. And you guys know, whenever I learn something, I come here and I share it with you. And in the hopes that in some way it blesses your life and helps you to maybe not make the mistakes I made or to think about something in a different way. So I'm Melody Reynolds. If you've never been in a broadcast before, I'm an intentional living coach. So I teach people just how to move from chaos to clarity, to live a more simple life. And so I share with you tips and advice and Bible study and health stuff. And so that's pretty much what I'm about because I have overcomplicated my life so much in the past. And I just really like a simplified life now. I like peace. I like calm. I like, less, right? Because less is more. So, to me, I can enjoy less more. So, today, we're going to get into marriage, okay? Because in 13 years, and two marriages, and this one being 13 years, I feel like I've learned a lot. And so I hope that this is going to give you some different ways to maybe think about marriage and to think about your spouse and some things to consider, okay? I'm going to be looking at my notes. My computer's down here. You can't see it. But I'm going to be, because I wrote these out so that I won't be squirrely everywhere and get off track so that I honor your time. If you would please share this out, that would greatly bless me. I'm always... I love to share positive things on social media, and I believe the Lord gets it in front of who He wants it to be in front of, and I need your help to do that. So if you would please share this for people that are married, thinking about getting married, have been married, want to be married, whatever it might be. Okay, so number 1 of the 13 is marriage is work. This is something we need to accept. Yes, it's full of love and passion and laughter. But you are also going to have times of hardship. You're going to have disagreements. You're going to have challenges. The enemy loves to break up families. And what's the best way to do that? Go in and attack your marriage, right? He loves to break up marriages in general because that's a union, of two people coming together, striving for the same things, hopefully. So that really upsets him. Especially when it's two people that really want to make it work. And so you have to commit. First of all, you have to accept the fact that, you're going to have that honeymoon period. You're going to have that hot and heavy period. You're going to have that time where, you feel like everything is rainbows and unicorns and sunshine and cupcakes, whatever it may be. But you have to go into it and remember that marriage is it's going to take work. Any relationship worth having takes work on both of your parts. You can't have one person willing to work things out all the time and the other person not. It has to be a coming together of two people that understand that, you're going to have to work on some things. You have to work on yourself. You're going to have to work on your marriage. And that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. So be willing to put in the work. No, and committed to it. Committed to it. Don't go into it thinking, if this doesn't work out, I'm just going to get divorced. I used to have that mindset. Well, if it doesn't work out, because divorce is easy. As far as actually getting it, you're just signing a piece of paper, right? And I know there's a lot of emotions and things involved, but it's easily accessible to us. So go in with the mind that this will work, right? Now, I'm not talking about abusive relationships. Hey, Priscilla, good to see you. I'm not talking about abusive relationships or anything. I'm talking about a good, healthy marriage, okay? Because abuse is a whole nother thing. That's not something you can work on. That is something that you don't need to subject yourself to. So keep that in mind. Number 2, so the first thing is marriages work. Number 2, communication will make or break you. You must learn to communicate with each other. I always tell people to learn each other's love language. There is a book, I will post a link here in the comments when I'm done, that really helped me. I think I loaned it out. It really helped me to understand that there are different love languages, meaning there are different ways that people feel loved. And because one way is how I feel loved, doesn't necessarily mean that's how your spouse gets their love tank filled or that they feel loved. Yeah, the 5 love languages. Thank you. That's what it's called. It is very good, and it's good, I think, on any relationship because you can apply it to your children. I think there even is one for kids, for parenting. You can apply it to your friendships. Any relationship you're in and you want to make the person feel appreciated and valued and, loved and safe and secure, then figuring out, what makes them feel that way. And that book actually kind of lays it all out for you. You can look through and you'll figure out what you are, and then you can have your spouse look at it, or you can probably figure out what your spouse is. So, oh, you did. Yeah, I'll bet. So it really helped me to be better in all of my relationships, but especially in marriage, because the way I feel loved and receive love is not the same way my husband does. And when we communicated and he figured out, he was trying to love me his way and I was trying to love him my way, we figured out that we needed different things from each other. So I highly recommend everybody read that book. That's one of the ones I always recommend. I'll leave a link to that in here. Be sure to talk about hard things. Be honest. Don't bottle up feelings. Talk about them, because when you bottle things up, they usually explode anyway. Your feelings are going to come out one way or the other. So bring them up. Talk about them. I know some people like to avoid talking about hard stuff, but when you learn to get on that level with each other, you open up a whole nother, a deeper connection with your spouse, I think. So you want to feel like you can talk about anything, literally. And that's how I am with my husband. Like, there is nothing. I'm sure he probably sometimes wishes I wouldn't talk about, but he knows that I have to talk things out. I'm a talker, and so he's learned to be a very good listener, because I do share everything with him. And he's my best friend, and that's the kind of relationship you want to have. If you can't talk, if you don't know how to communicate, work on that. Set aside time to sit down once a week and have a talk, just to talk through what's going on with the kids or the finances or your life, whatever, okay? So keep that connection. Number 3, always remember you're on the same team, right? Or you should be. Whatever your issues may be, when you remember the fact, hey, Christy, that you're on the same team. Okay, all right, see you, Priscilla. When you remember things like you're on the same team, when you, not kids, okay, when you're with each other, because there are those times, you will, if you can remind yourself, we both want what's best for us and our family. That's going to help, at least it does with us. It helps us to remember that we're not fighting against each other. We're still fighting for each other. We just may not be thinking on the same, path as the other one is. And so you have to remind yourself you are a team, right? And you want the same things. You want each other to do well. You want your family to be blessed and to be happy. And so when you're at those times when you feel like you might kill each other, remember, we're on the same team. My husband and I say that to each other. We'll have a disagreement and we'll say, we're on the same team. Listen, we're on the same team. Let's just think about this for a while. Okay? That was a big help for us when we started to think about that. It really makes a difference when you don't feel like you're at each other. Okay? You may just be disagreeing on how to do something. Okay, number 4, always be willing to learn to do things better. Okay? Be willing to learn from other couples. Hopefully now, my husband and I didn't have a lot of, mentors for marriage. That's why I share stuff like this. Some people don't in their lives have people to model. I didn't know what a healthy marriage looked like. I'd never seen one. So I didn't have a model in my mind of what that was supposed to look like. And that's very helpful when you do, because, it helps you to get an idea of what a healthy marriage looks like in practical everyday life. And if you don't have that, there's a lot of seminars or books or, resources out there on the interwebs. Put in some time to learning, what does a healthy marriage look like? And how is your marriage different from that? And then how can you change some things to make it better? Be open to say, all right, maybe we should try to do this a different way because what we're doing isn't working. That doesn't mean you're wrong, and it doesn't mean your marriage has failed. It just means you're going to try something different. That's how I am with everything in my life. If something doesn't work, I try something different. I had somebody comment the other day, just yell, plot twist. And I love that. Plot twist, change it. It's not a big deal. You'll be better for it in the end. Okay, number 5, make intentional time to connect. If you hear nothing else today, hear this one thing. Plan it if you have to, put it on a calendar if that's what you need to do. But make intentional time to be alone together, to make out, to do other things, to connect physically, spiritually, mentally. It should be fun. You should enjoy it. But if you're so caught up in, you got to do this for your kids, you got your job going on, you're trying to do this for the church, and you're trying to do that for your friends or whatever. We all have a million different things going on. Sometimes we sideline our spouses, and that is a huge mistake. Your marriage absolutely must be a priority. And people get really upset. I've seen a lot of people argue, and I hear the question a lot, do you put your kids first or your husband first? Well, I look at it as this way. I want my child to have both of her parents in her life and a loving home. And in order to do that, I have to make my husband and our relationship a priority. Just like all of the other important things in my life are priorities. So I'm not kidding. If you have to schedule 30 minutes, if you're so busy that you have to put it on a calendar or put it in your phone as a reminder, do what you got to do. Make a date. Tell your spouse, look, Friday at 6 p.m., we're going to go and, and connect. So keep that in mind, and you should be doing that often. You should be connecting often, more than once a week. But start with that if you don't have that going on. But be intentional. This is what I tell everybody. Nothing gets done on accident. You have to make it happen if it's important to you. Marriage isn't anything any different, okay? Number 6, be willing to bend or you will break, okay? Compromise is key. You got 2 people, I don't care how much in love you are, eventually you're going to realize just how different you are. You're going to have different opinions about things, different thoughts about things, different ways that you do things. Boy, parenting. When you have kids, you will really see that you don't always agree on things. So you have to be willing to bend or you will break your marriage. No, you don't. You shouldn't be the person compromising all of the time. You should both be willing to bend. Okay? Sometimes you get your way, sometimes he gets his way, sometimes you agree. And that's the best, right? So keep that in mind. Number 7, this is really important too. Listen. Fight, but don't fight dirty. This is hard for me because I have a very sharp tongue. And I know, I'm just going to be honest with you, I know how to say something to cut a person just like that. And it used to be my go-to for every argument. You can argue with your spouse without personally attacking them, without attacking their character, without making them feel bad about themselves. It's unrealistic to say you don't ever have a disagreement with your husband. That's never going to happen. Ever. No marriage is like that. If somebody tells you that, they're full of crap. Seriously. I'm just saying. So, you can argue, but you have to not be in that attack mode where you're trying to cut them down. You can't take words back once you say them. And that's really important. And some people can just forget when things are said. I never do. I wish I did. I wish I could forget things. But I'm just one of those people that I remember every hurt. And it stays pretty fresh to me. So that's why I have to, I work on forgiveness all the time. Because I have to, when you forgive, you have to let things go. Right? And sometimes it's hard when you're really hurt or you're really mad. So to avoid having a lot of baggage, it's okay to argue, but don't attack. That changes the scope of it, right? Okay, number 8, grow with each other. Just go in, we don't stay the same people forever. And so when you get married, who I married 13 years ago is not the same man that I'm married to today, and I'm not the same wife. And what we've learned is to allow each other to change and grow. We've grown up together. We're in our 40s now. We have a kid now. It's a lot different than when we first got married and didn't have responsibilities and we were really immature. So, especially if you get married young, you need to grow. Be willing to let each other have some room to explore and to grow and to learn. And support that in each other. Because if one of you stays the same and one of you grows, that person's gonna outgrow the stagnant person, and then you're gonna have a lot of problems. Okay. All right, number 9, don't bring other people into your marriage. What? Not like that. Stop that. Dirty mind, dirty mind. That's not what I'm talking about. Shame on you. Just kidding. In other words, telling all your business to your family and your friends. Now, I'm not saying you can't have a really trusted friend that you vent and work things out, like you mentally process or verbally process things with your friend. But the problem is, if you go to a lot of people and you're telling all your business, when things work out for you and your husband, those people you guys are going to make up, and those people are still kind of picking sides, right? You've gotten over it. You've recovered from whatever issues you were having. But now you've got people who, know what was going on. They know what you were going through. And, you can cause them to have the wrong feelings towards your spouse. You don't need people meddling in your marriage. You really don't. You need somebody that you can trust. I'm a girl. I got to talk things out, right? You need somebody you can be real with. But it's very hard to find people that aren't going to judge, that aren't going to pick a side. So remember, when you do share that kind of stuff, because I'm not saying you can't ask somebody for advice. I would ask somebody with a good marriage or that's been married for a while. I wouldn't just ask, anybody. Somebody that's not married, somebody that's bitter and divorced is not going to give you good advice for what to do in your own marriage. That's just the truth. So be careful who you tell your stuff to, because people will want to be involved and they'll have opinions, and then you and your husband work it out, and there you go. That was a big one I learned. Number 10, be yourself always. You know, don't pretend to be somebody else around your spouse. They need to love you for you, right? When we're dating, we put on our best, and we dress up, and we try to be like, you know, we're trying to win them over. If you're married, you already won them over. So let them see who you are, and let them love you. Because I know a lot of people in marriages that they feel like they've got to, you know, maybe look like they've got it all together for their spouse, and they're losing their mind on the inside. You've got to be you, because you're going to come out eventually. If you hang out with you long enough, you're going to come out. So just be yourself. Number 11, almost done. Forgive, forgive, forgive. Forgive when you don't want to. Forgive when everything in you is still mad and you feel like you might scream. Make the choice to forgive. We all screw up. We all make mistakes. We all hurt other people, right? But it's really important when you're in a marriage that you are able, and it's not easy. I'm not going to say it's easy. I'm not going to say I'm good at it, because I'm not. But if you don't forgive each other, because in that growth that I talked about, you make mistakes. That's how you grow. So and also I think when your spouse knows that you're going to forgive them, they feel safe and comfortable and secure, and not like they, you know, if they do something wrong, you're going to pack up and leave. That puts a lot of fear in your marriage. Yes, there are deal breakers. I'm not saying that, right? We're not talking about abuse. We're talking about a healthy marriage here. Okay? So it's just going to take a lot of forgiving. They're going to say things to make you mad. They're going to say things that hurt you. And they're not going to mean them all. Sometimes they're going to mean them. And sometimes they're not. You have to learn how to recover. And that's just the truth. Number 12, build your spouse up. We have the whole world to knock us down, right? We have plenty of haters. It's been kind of theme for the past couple days for me. We have plenty of haters to make us feel like crap, right? Or to try to attack us, or to wear us out, or to frustrate us, or to make us feel like we're not worthy, we're not enough, or they try to anyway. So you have to remember that you got to build each other up. Be each other's foundation and support. You know, you should be your spouse's support system. Cheerlead. You know, be that cheerleader for your spouse, because it's tough with the outside world, and we need somebody to just say, you know what, I believe in you. I really think you can do this. I'm proud of you. I've really noticed that you're working hard. I mean, it's not that hard to compliment somebody, and we all love compliments. Your spouse is no different. And last but not least, the most important thing of all things, hear me, hear me, hear me. Pray for your marriage. The most powerful thing that you can do for your marriage is to, on purpose, specifically pray for it. Pray for things like protection of your marriage, restoration of your marriage. Hey, LaDonna, good to see you. Patience, understanding, desire for your spouse. We go through those times where, you know, we may not always have that deep passion for each other, so you got to pray for it. When you pray for that stuff, God will come in and He will give you that fire back, and He will help you, just like with everything else. I feel like sometimes we forget to pray for our marriage because we're busy. Like we know we're praying for our kids, and we're praying for health, and we're praying for provision, and we're praying for other people, and you know, but you got to intentionally, purposely take time to pray for your marriage, because like I said, it will come under attack. It's always, you know, that's something that the enemy likes to target in on, is our marriages. That's why I feel like so many don't work, because he's always on them. It's not easy. Marriage is not an easy road. However, when you cover it in prayer, it makes a difference. You're not defenseless. We have weapons to do warfare with, and one of those weapons is prayer. So speak good things over your marriage. Pray for God. You know, if you're having a problem, say, Lord, help me with this man. Help me with this woman. Like, what do I need to do? Help me to be patient. Help me to love her or him, you know, and help me to be able to change how I'm doing this. Help me to have that passion for them again. You know, because sometimes you're together so long that passion will start to fizzle out. Pray for that. You know, say, put the desire in me for my spouse. God ain't going to get embarrassed. Listen, they ain't not going to embarrass God. He knows what. He made all this stuff, right? So pray for it. And those are the 13 things this Friday the 13th that I've learned in my 13 years of marriage today. I am going to hop off of here. I pray that you guys receive this. My husband is going to be walking in that door in any second. And I like, one of my other tips is to greet your man at the door, ladies. If you stay home or you get home before your man, go greet him, open the door for him, give him a kiss when he walks in so that he feels welcome. It's just nice. My husband does that for me. If I'm out and I come in and it's dark, he'll like turn the lights on for me. He's the one that taught me to do that. He'll meet me at the door. He'll take my bags. Do the same thing for him. It really makes a difference, I think. So I hope this blesses you guys. Again, if you would please share, it would bless me so much, because I really, truly have a passion for marriage. And if I can give anybody any advice in any way, I'll surely give it to them, because I've made a lot of mistakes and I've figured a lot of things out. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I plan on popping in tomorrow, but we'll see what happens. But tonight I'm going to celebrate my man, because you know what? Celebrate another year of marriage every single year, because it's something to be celebrated. The fact that you didn't give up, you didn't quit, and you're still working on it, I think I'm very thankful for that. So celebrate that, y'all. When you have your anniversaries, take the time to just celebrate each other. All right, you guys, I hope this blesses you. I'll see you soon.